I'm with Dom and Christine today, two of our senior advisors here at Pro Trade United, and we're having a discussion around what we see are the biggest financial mistakes that business owners are making in the trading construction industry, and really the difference between the industry leaders who are on top of their numbers, super profitable consistently, and those that are just running on the smell of an oily rag. So, Dom, Christine, what are you seeing today as one of the biggest financial mistakes? Because there's plenty to talk about, but what keeps coming up for you, Dom?
Yeah, great question, John. And to your point, there are plenty to talk about. If I was to distill it down to one, particularly in the project and construction space, it's back costing. If you think about cash flow, how do I get money in as quick as possible? How do I keep it in as long as possible? If you're not profitable, it doesn't matter. And so for all of you, the question would be the last 5 or 10 projects that you completed, do you know hand on heart, quoted versus actual? And if the answer is yes, well done, you're part of the exception. If the answer is no, all is okay, you're probably more part of the norm. But it's really important to have a process and make the time for this. It's not an exciting activity to be doing. It might not light you up, but it becomes really, really important. The industry leaders that we work with, north of 20% net profit, this is achievable, yet they only achieve that by knowing what is profitable and what isn't profitable.
Beautiful. The analogy there is almost like playing a game of football and not knowing whether you won or lost because you don't have a scorecard to refer to. In this situation, that's, what do we want?
You can't manage what you don't measure.
Yeah, that's right. What did we want? What did we get? Did we win or did we lose? Yeah, perfect example there. And Christine, for you, what do you see?
Particularly in a service and maintenance space, knowing your true hourly rate is important. And we have a great calculator we use at Pro Trade United that you can manipulate the inefficiencies in your business. So, for example, most trade and construction businesses are only 50% billable, and I think people often lie to themselves about how efficient their team members are. They might say, well, I'm paying them for 8 hours a day, we're 8 hours billable. So if you're charging them out at $150 an hour, but if you're actually only 50% billable, that's really only $75 an hour. So that's where you'll be losing money. So really understanding your true hourly rate and your true inefficiencies in your business.
So on top of holiday pay, sick leave, public holidays and those entitlements, where do you see the biggest gaps in inefficiencies or lack of billable coming from?
A couple of things. Callbacks is a big one. Another area I see is the hidden costs, such as if you are not organised with your material ordering and your team are constantly driving to suppliers. That's a big one. Or if you're not tracking lunch breaks effectively and a half an hour lunch break creeps to an hour because you're not tracking it, that's 2.5 hours extra a week you're losing.
Yeah, wow.
I had a client a few years ago who did an exercise in his business where he really looked at the inefficiencies in his business, and he was able to show that he had an employee full-time at the supplier every week because they were so inefficient that their employees collectively added up to 40 hours back and forth to a supplier.
Yeah, wow. Adds up very quickly.
Yeah.
And what I'm really seeing, which sort of feeds off what Dom and Christine have shared, is that as a business owner, getting uncomfortable with understanding the numbers in your business. If you're thinking, well, I don't actually know what it costs me to run the project and I don't know how to go back, in fact, really means you don't want to go back. And with Christine's situation is understanding the true cost to employ is you either want to or you don't know how to. And if you don't know how to understand these costs and you're not asking for support, it's really telling us that you don't want to. So my invitation to you is lean into the uncomfortableness of really unpacking and understanding what the numbers are telling you in your business. And that's what we're here for collectively as a team. If you're up for that journey in understanding your numbers at a deeper level, be in touch. Book a clarity call with one of our team, and we'd love to support you moving forward into becoming an industry leader.